Hello to all the light workers, light warriors, and soul searchers out there. Welcome to another incredible live interview here at Rythmia in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. It's been another incredible week of healing. I was just at the closing talk this morning, and there was a gentleman who said that his wife is the spiritual one, and kind of sent him here, and he all throughout the week he wasn't getting it, and he was like, no, not spiritual, still not connecting. And it was on his last day, last journey on Thursday that he got everything. It was like, okay, this is what my wife has been talking about, this is what spirituality is, and he now gets it. So if you haven't got it, then come to Rythmia, because this place is so epic. Read Jerry's book, Shit the Moon Said, a story of sex, drugs, and ayahuasca. And it's just the most incredible healing retreat center where we fuse together so many different healing modalities, from yoga, meditation, plant medicine, specifically ayahuasca. We have breath work, which is just so profound as well and can take you to next level visions and just open you up. And you get to take that home because it's a tool, a free tool for you to utilize and use your breath in the correct and proper way. We have Meg's organic food as well. We have amazing. We have lots of different talks. We have Michael Beckwith's The Answer Is You, which is incredible. I do talks, JJ does talk, Jerry does talks, and it's just all perfectly combined to make for the most epic healing that you can get in 1 week. It's literally like 20 to 30 years of therapy in 1 week. And we've had, again, so many profound shifts this week in people. It's just so beautiful for me to witness. It is what fuels my soul to really be of service to people and to see people get their miracles. And this legend, Kurt from Arizona, has been here 2 weeks, and I have seen the progression from day one when he walked in to now is mind-blowing. And I knew that at the end of his 2 weeks, I was going to get him on, because we keep chatting to each other mid-ceremony, and he's just got these big revelations and just epic transformations that has just been occurring. So without further ado, let's get into it. Thank you so much for saying you'll come on and talk to me.
Yeah, thank you, Candy. No, it's been an incredible journey. I've been here for my second week now, and it's just hard to put in words what exactly that I went through. But to sum it up, it's been the best thing that I've ever been through in my life.
And you've done a lot of other different things, haven't you? Therapies and such. Do you want to list some of the things you've tried to do to get yourself to this point?
So I've done the traditional route. I checked myself into a sort of high-level, high-profile treatment center in Arizona. I was there for a couple of days, so I just felt it wasn't right for me. There's a big, long story behind that, but it just was one of the premier treatment centers in America. A lot of the celebrities go there, and it just felt like just a adult babysitting spot. And I was there to get treatment. I didn't want to be put on additional drugs and medications. I'm in the healthcare profession, and I understand there is a use for short-term medication, but a lot of the Western treatment centers in the United States just focus on a single modality, and a lot of it's prescription-based. Mm-hmm. And for me, I was trying to avoid that at all costs, because I have experience with my mother, who is severely mentally ill, and she's been on every prescription, antipsychotic, antidepressant over the last 20, 25 years, and she's hasn't gotten any better. She's only got worse.
Yeah, we see that all the time. It's like the pharmaceutical industry needs customers, so they're not going to try and like cure you per se, but they will manage your symptoms. It's more like symptom management, as long as you stay a customer. And so, yeah, you were well in tune to not being that. So do you want to go back and tell us a bit about where you were at in your life that made you feel like you needed something else? You needed ayahuasca. Like, what was going on for you in your life? And then talk about, your profession and everything that rolled on from that.
Yeah, I'm in the healthcare profession. That's my primary job. I also do some other entrepreneurial activities, real estate development, business development. So I tend to keep myself busy, and I tend to spin a lot of plates in my life. And the end of May, and it was, I think February 26th, I just came to a breaking point with myself. I was on a 3-day binge. I was drinking a bunch of alcohol, and I'm on prescription medication at the time. I was taking antidepressant, Prozac, and I was taking Adderall for ADHD, and was smoking a little marijuana, and it was a combination effect of all the drugs together. It just popped, and I was passed out in my son's bed, and my family found me there, and they questioned what I was doing, and they said that, they think I'm a drug addict and I need to go into a treatment center, and I didn't disagree. I just knew I was in a dark place. A lot of it associated with just extreme stress, moving my family to a different house. We got a new puppy. There was just
puppy is like
pissing and shitting on the couch and the floor. I mean, just add to the stress and drama.
That's just the ultimate stress.
That was the breaking point. No, that was just a piece of it, and 2 young children, and I'm a high-level professional, and I just broke, and the drugs and alcohol that I was on at the time didn't help out, and it was just the right time and the right place for me to go into a new direction and to start my self and personal healing.
So amazing. And how did you hear about us here?
I was fortunately blessed to, I'm working with 2 business partners out of Phoenix, and we're opening up a new treatment center. It's called Optimize, and it's a human optimization center. It's basically like a mini version of Rythmia, where we're a retail location, and the whole premise and purpose is to bring people in to start healing their mind and body. Mm-hmm. And we have similar modalities that they do here, breath work. We have cold water immersion, hot water immersion, transition therapy, bringing in different guest lecturers to lecture about life and growth and development. So I would just consider it a little mini retreat center that we're trying to get majority of the population to come in and do. So one of my business partners, when I was in my second treatment center, he said, "Hey man, you need to check out Rythmia." And I had no idea. And initially I was looking down to come to Costa Rica for financial reasons, just because it gets pretty expensive to do standard treatment in a treatment facility. We're talking about 10, 20, 30, 40. The first treatment center was $63,000 for a month.
Yeah, I've heard about the prices that they charge.
So it wasn't the money. Obviously it's a concern, but it's just when I checked myself into, it was called the Meadows, and that place helps people, but for me it just wasn't the right spot for me. So I decided to leave the center. I called some family members, and they decided that it wasn't a good idea for me to leave, but I was threatened at the facility, felt I was disrespected. There was just a whole mess of an issue that happened. So I decided to walk, and I literally walked about 40 miles through the Arizona desert from Wickenburg, Arizona to Phoenix to help myself. And I got confused, I got lost a little bit, but I just knew that I needed to go somewhere else.
And this is the thing, like being, with your family and everyone urging you to go into that place, and then you are checking yourself out and walking, people are going to make judgments and say, well, he's clearly not of a sound state of mind by leaving and walking through the desert on his own. But you had such a deep calling that you knew that wasn't for you. So it's like, why waste your time there when you know there's something else? Correct. So, but obviously you can imagine people that love you and are fearful for you are thinking, fuck, he's gone. He's totally lost it. Get him back in there.
Yeah. And, it was, I elicited a lot of fear on people, because there's not many people that have the strength and courage to, in the middle of the night, just walk through the desert and survive and walk for 13, 15 hours. And my whole intention was, and I was trying to be smart, I was like, it's the middle of the night, someone's going to pick me up, I'll just hitchhike. And, carrying a bag and obviously severely tired and being in a new treatment center, I looked like probably some estranged lunatic walking the streets. And, I look back at that situation and it happened for a purpose.
Well, totally. I mean, if you had have left there and checked out and gone straight back on a binge, then obviously people would be worried for a reason. But because you knew that you had somewhere else to go and now you've been here for 2 weeks and it's worked for you, it's just like sometimes you have to trust your inner guidance, because a lot of people have opinions and they care, but it's fear-based because they love you. Same with my cancer situation. It's like I knew deep down I could heal it naturally. But I heard that the surgeons, my family, everybody else was so fear-based, didn't want me to die. So they told me, you've got to go for surgery, you've got to go for radiation. So I did, but that's what nearly killed me, and that didn't actually work. And then I finally listened to myself. So sometimes, as much as people love you, it's just people's opinions. And sometimes if you know deep down, you just have to go for it. And you're a prime example of going for it and just, sending people love, but knowing that you know what's right for you.
Correct. And, being in the healthcare profession, I understand there's a big business side associated to a lot of treatment. I mean, you look at, we're talking about in the United States, a lot of large corporations, even Wall Street, own major hospitals, major clinics, medical, dental, pharmaceutical. So there's a shareholder mentality now in the United States based upon treatment, and they push a lot of prescription drugs on it. And I wanted to explore a more holistic and natural route. And I did find a center. It was actually near the center that I was at, was near Sedona, Arizona. And they didn't have an availability till April. So that was my next step, was to go and to find a more natural center, because that's what my mind was processing.
That's so beautiful.
And at that point, they didn't have the availability. So I found another center in Michigan that I was going to check myself into to continue the healing process. And I ended up finding a place in Florida, which was a more trauma-based center, because after I got out of the desert, I ended up seeing my psychiatrist that I have been seeing over the past year, and he recommended that I go check myself inpatient just to get stabilized due to the significant trauma that I put myself through and the trauma that I received in that first treatment center. So I was placed in the hospital for about a week just for physical and mental stabilization, but there wasn't much treatment besides just, giving me more medication and having me sit there and just rest it off. And I knew that there had to be more to my journey. And speaking with my psychiatrist and psychologist at the time, they basically diagnosed the fact that it's more of a trauma-based PTSD and a lot of childhood issues that have been unresolved. And I had, like most of us here in treatment, had a pretty dysfunctional past, and they wanted to directionally more attack that, not just attack my symptom of binge drinking or my symptom of depression or my symptom of hyperactivity disorders. So they wanted to get to the core. So I then started to research more, holistic, natural-based centers, and another center, which was a great center outside of Orlando, and it was a trauma-focused center, and there was about 65 of us there, and I was there for 2 weeks, and about 50 of the 65 were female, and what I've learned is there was a lot of, sexual abuse, rape, physical abuse, and just a lot of trauma that people go through in the world. And, a lot of mine was unresolved childhood trauma, some current trauma of, crazily walking through the desert. And then during that time, close friends and family actually called the police on me, and I was in solitary confinement for another couple of days. So it was a rough journey to
get to here, to get to this point.
Yeah.
Wow. So with the childhood trauma, did the medicine here help you get to that?
Yeah. So after Florida, I was just praying, and I just had this spiritual calling to start healing my childhood trauma, and it really started with healing with my father, and my, and that's how the universe started to work. Is my father lives in Florida, and I went to a treatment center in Florida, so I was getting closer to him.
Yeah.
And after I was there for a couple weeks, and I felt that I sort of peaked on the specific type of treatment that they were providing me there, God basically gave me a calling to keep on moving, to start to heal these childhood traumas and start to mend this relationship with my father.
Oh.
So I called my father and I said, hey, I want you to pick me up. I've been looking at a center in Costa Rica because my business partner gave me information. And at that time, I was a, quote, high risk entry because they didn't know, since I went through so much traumatic stuff recently and I was in and out of other centers and I was in the hospital, that they, were concerned of admitting me because, when you come here, you have to be clean and clear.
Yes.
And, speaking with Jeff and being a medical professional and, being sober and off any drugs or alcohol it was probably over 30 days at that point. Because I think I'm on day 46, 47.
Oh, how amazing. Yeah, it's very vital that people are cleared, because you don't want it to contraindicate with the medicine, because
Correct.
who knows what can happen then. And so that's part of it, and that's why we have a beautiful medical team to go through all that. And it's so good that you're in contact with Jeff, because he's just amazing.
Yeah.
Doing all that.
So I just, by God's grace or by the universal force or energy pulling me to Costa Rica, I got an admittance, and I literally 2 days after I found out, which was March 31st, which was my 40th birthday. And I was super depressed because my family sort of pulled everything away from me. Wasn't able to talk to my children, and it was my 40th birthday, and I just expected a lashing out of love, and I got just pulled in rejection, and it was for a purpose. And I kept on moving because I knew I wasn't healed yet. Those first two centers haven't healed me. Even if I stayed in for 30 or 45 days, I just knew deep down in my gut that wasn't the place for her to heal. So I got the admittance, and I just hopped on a plane, and I showed up here on my 40th birthday, and it's been the best birthday present that I ever have.
That you done for yourself.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. Because sometimes everything has to be taken away from us just for us to reach that rock bottom, to realize what we've been doing. We're like, oh my God, I've actually lost everything and everyone, and there's no one else to blame but me.
Yeah.
And so I need to fix this. I'm the only one that can. And you had that realization, and what your family did, even though at the time it seemed shit and unfair, it's so perfect.
Perfect.
Because they love you so much that they had to do that. It's just the way it goes. So then you got here. I remember meeting you, and you were totally different. It's so beautiful to see your transition. So you've never done ayahuasca before?
Never.
So, and have you ever done breath work?
I've done breath work. The center that we're opening in Phoenix and two of my business partners are breath work instructors, and they've been introducing me to it, but I haven't been as dedicated and as intense as here down here.
And how was your first intro to breath work here when you got here?
That was incredible, because I got in, that was the Sunday that I got in, and I took a breath work class, and I've had some experience with it. So, at first it seems a little weird, and you're like, there's no way this can do anything to you. You're just breathing, come on. That's exactly what I thought. And when you go through it, it's incredible. I mean, you get to certain levels of consciousness where you get that vibration, where you get that energy feeling, where you get it's just, if you've never experienced an intense breathwork session, I'd recommend anybody out there to find a place in their local area to do it.
Definitely.
Or pick up a YouTube channel and watch it. I know Wim Hof does breath work. His is a little bit different, so there's a bunch of different modalities you can go through, but it was very transformational for me.
It is so powerful, and it's just such the perfect opening for your first ayahuasca journey, because you kind of cleared out some of the debris, and then the medicine goes in. So let's just summarize your last week, and then we'll get into specific day by days this week. Overall, how was your experience, like your first week here? What were some of the peak miracles that you got?
Yeah, so this is going on my second week. So the first week, it was the Monday ceremony. You know, for me, I'm a little bit more analytical, and I didn't surrender as much as I thought I could. So the first day was, I nodded, basically slept most of the ceremony.
Yeah.
It was good for me because it was
deep healing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You know, you can discuss a little bit more about that. And I was frustrated. I was like, this is bullshit. Why am I sleeping? Then the next day you're like, Kurt, no, that's a blessing.
It's such a blessing because she goes so deep. Like a lot of people say, like, he was just like, oh, I just slept. It's like, if you're sleeping, it's because you've kind of been knocked out or anesthetized by the medicine, and you wouldn't want to be awake for it because it'd be pretty explosive energy. Because what she's doing is she's putting you to sleep because it's either really deep, suppressed traumas that she's going in to heal from this incarnation, or she's going all the way back to when you were first created and like healing the canal of life in all your incarnations, all the cracks. She's putting golden energy, healing light, and basically just healing any of the past in your lineage to get you back to this point. So when you get totally knocked out on the medicine, it's a blessing. It's a true gift. And it's not just something we've just made up to kind of disguise the fact that you just fell asleep. It's so, so, so deep. And I've personally experienced that myself, where I woke up and I just had a knowing, a deep, deep knowing about really traumatic, suppressed things that had happened to me. So it's super powerful. And then what else happened?
And then the following week, I just really got just a bunch of self-realizations and self-actualizations about myself and who I was as a person. And I realized that I didn't truly love myself.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, going through some of Candice's classes and other lectures and classes that we had during the week, I was naive and I thought that, shit, I could still love other people, but I don't love myself. So I had to really internalize and start to focus on the healing of myself, because if I had any shot to get my family and wife and kids back, that I would really have to change myself.
And you really have. Like,
yeah.
It's so profound. You're like one of the prime examples why I'm here. You're like feeding my soul.
Yeah.
Because like when you walked in, you could even see inflammation in your face.
Yeah.
You could see like your eyes were like red. You could just physically see that you were so unhappy and so disconnected. And you could just see the sadness in your eyes, even though you still were like smiling and still,
Yeah.
you could just see it was just a front, but inside there was this deep unhappiness.
Yeah.
And you obviously weren't loving yourself because you were trying to kill yourself inherently, basically. And now to see you, like the whites of your eyes, and like you're not inflamed, and you're like, it's a genuine smile from your heart, and I fucking love it.
Thank you.
Seriously, thank you, because it just keeps all of us going here. This is why we love it, and it's just. Some of our little fire talks, around the fire in ayahuasca, it's just been so opening for me to see that somebody can come out of so much trauma, like the depths of trauma, and being in different institutes, and everyone's like, telling you what they think is best for you, and just being lost through trauma that you don't even know exists. It's like there's so many people out there going through the same thing, which is why this is such a pivotal interview. Because a lot of people don't know why they're unhappy. They don't know why they're trying to kill themselves. They don't know why they've lost their family and their friends, but they genuinely just don't know. And so the medicine can go in and just show you who you have become, and then merge you back with your soul at all costs and heal your heart. Those three things, it's a game changer. Yeah. Just for like coming here and just taking a leap of faith.
And overall, it's been over a year, because last year I had a suicide attempt where I was just at a deep, dark position in my life, and I have millions of dollars, beautiful wife, kids. Everything that the typical American doctor could ask for, and I just was unhappy, and I continued to use drugs and alcohol to suppress a lot of these symptoms. And I got to a point where I was deep and dark, and I worked through that, but I don't know if I truly did until I really came here and took the medicine and really became introspective and really looked deep inside my body and soul and spirit to see who I am and where it came from.
I love that. And I love that you got everything in the first week. It's like, you know, you got your heart healing, which means the other two have happened. So you've been shown who you've become, you've merged right with your soul. And then to continue to go deeper and to know, because you weren't going to stay the extra week. Correct. But something in you just knew, like, okay, I've got all these profound shifts, but it's more like I want to make sure. I want to make sure because I really don't want to fuck up again. You know, I really want to make sure, and I want to prove to my wife and I want to prove to my kids that I am the man that, you know, they think I am. You know, I want to prove to them that I can be all that and more. And that is the most enduring thing. Like, it's just so beautiful that you went and done that. And
it was, you know, I was at the last leg of where I was at. I mean, you go from a year prior to have suicide attempts to this year of losing your wife, your kids, the shirt off your back, the money that you worked for, and like everything what you mentioned was stripped away from me. And I just knew I wouldn't give up, and I knew there was an answer. And God bless Costa Rica, and God bless Rythmia, and God bless the team here, because, you know, from doctors to healers to spiritual leaders to shamans, I mean, they have it all. And if you're a person that's looking for something that's unique and different, or been in a rehab center or a treatment center, or, you know, been through years of psychotherapy, or, you know, and just continually getting this dead end, don't give up. And it's, for me, it's changed my life. I'm happy. I know who I am. I know what I need to do going forward. And it's just going to be, it is the most profound thing I've ever been through in my life.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. Seriously, it's so amazing. Just think, like, if you hadn't have found this medicine, like, where you would be. That's the scary thing. It's like there's so many people out there that don't even know we exist, or even that the medicine exists, or they're just scared of taking the medicine. A lot of people are fear-based of the unknown, but it's the most profound, natural way of healing I have ever come across, and I've tried everything that I could possibly try. So it's just super powerful.
Yeah. And I, you know, in my profession, I study drugs for a living. And, you know, there's a time and a place for prescription drugs, and there's a time and a place for what we call plant medicine or natural drugs. And if you look at the history of majority of drugs that are on the market, they come from a plant basis. They come from the earth, and they come from, you know, I believe in God and Jesus Christ. You know, some people have other beliefs and different religions, but that's my belief. And the truth is, God has created the earth, and He's created these plants, and these plants are used to heal us in a very controlled, directive manner. This isn't a place where you come and the moon's out and people are shouting weird stuff and chanting, and no, it's they know what they're doing here. This is a high level facility, and there should be one in every state.
And you should know, you've been to some fucking high level facilities, like 60 grand later. Yes. It's like, none of that. It's like, spend a few grand, come here and heal. It's just like literally 20 to 30 years of therapy in 1 week. It's just the only way I can explain it, because I've seen so many people heal the deepest traumas that a lot of people couldn't reach, because you're making a soul contract. You are talking to that little boy, that little girl inside of you, and then it literally is enabling you to connect on a way you've never connected before, and then like rewire your neurological pathways.
Yeah.
So like,
it's interesting, because I've been studying the brain too, and a good motivational factor for me going forward is really understanding, because again, being a medical professional, of truly understanding and working with Jeff, that it's profound. I mean, why is it only in Costa Rica? Yeah, there's legal restrictions in other countries, but the truth is, it works, and I wouldn't have done it any other way, because if I didn't come here, I don't know where I would have been. I don't even think I would have been alive. I mean, that's the truth. And now I have my life ahead of me. I have friends for life.
Yes.
I have a center that I will be an advocate for. Anyone I know that is suffering from mental illness, depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, divorce, whatever it is, people need a helping hand, and you can't do it yourself. I couldn't do it myself, and I took the leap of faith and broke a lot of trust of my family by coming down here, because people thought I was just fleeing the country to surf and, go to bars and do whatever, but it was, for a purpose, and the purpose was to figure out who I was and heal myself.
How beautiful when they're going to see you, because a lot of people will be like, oh, like, where's he gone? He's checked out of all these like high-end facilities, and then he's gone off to Costa Rica. And especially when they hear like plant medicine, they're like, oh, psychedelics in the jungle,
Right.
And it's just a bit, I understand, because people just don't know. And so it's more just like sending love, but you're just like a walking testimonial, because whoever knows you, they'll see you.
Yeah.
And I knew you when you walked in to now, I can see the difference. So I'm pretty sure your wife and everybody are going to just see you and see like, oh my gosh, there is some dark energy that has been lifted from this man. And it's all about like, if they love you, they won't want to chastise you. It won't be about like telling you how bad you are and everything. It will just be like, just don't hurt me again.
Correct.
That's all people want to know, is that you won't hurt them again. And if you can promise that, and after doing this medicine, I know that it is so easy to promise that, because you have made that soul contract with your little boy in there.
Yeah.
And you said, you know what? I'm not going to hurt you again, which is the main thing, which means I know I'm not going to hurt anybody else again. So it just becomes so beautiful. And I actually want to be there when like everyone sees you, because it's a profound shift. So let's talk about this week. Fucking hell. So how was this week for you?
This week was even more epic. I mean, I decided this, it was a recommendation from the medical director to stay at least 2 weeks. I'm even considering doing a third week.
Do it. There's always room for more healing.
And it's just now because you come in with a little hesitation because you don't believe. And you're like, there's no way these people, they live down here and, they pray to the moon and like,
we do, but
for a good purpose. But, me being a conservative doctor from the United States, you're skeptical. So I was like, well, I didn't die week 1 and I feel amazing. And I really have worked on myself. That has taken 30 years to figure this out. Why not go to week 2? So I just surrendered a lot more week 2, was praying every night, working with a lot of the team here to understand myself more, have them hear my story, because I was hurt, and it was, it's been a tough journey, and you start to uncover a lot of the pain, and the healing starts to happen, and your emotions start to come out. And prior to me being here, I was a pretty unemotional guy, and now
you're very disconnected.
Yeah.
I noticed that. It's like very vacant. It was more just like if you're taking the drink and the drug, it's more just to escape, and you seem like more vacant.
Correct.
It was just like not wanting to be here, and there's just that deep pain. So did you get in there?
Yeah, so I went in really deep and just meditated during ceremony, let the ayahuasca take over, and just it's interesting because when you drink it, it's just the brown tea. It's a root, so it's not like you're taking a needle and her weird
It's not your usual.
Yeah, it's not the typical stuff that you see people on the streets in America use. But so I just went in with a greater understanding and a more open-mindedness, and it just helped me again see myself. The love that I now know that's in my body and it radiates on my body, and the peace that I have and the mental clarity that I've gained and the decrease of anxiety that has gone down, and any of the depressive thoughts and episodes that I have are, I would say, minimal to zero.
That's so amazing. And this is the thing, it's like it really sticks. It's really like rewiring your brain.
Correct.
to be more balanced. It's like all those other things you were doing were just getting you out of whack, like constantly like not like working with your natural system whatsoever. Oh my God.
Yeah, I was just using a lot of harmful substances, and again, that was just a coping mechanism to, cover up the pain and fear that I had in the past.
Yeah.
And this basically unraveled and stripped it away from me. And if you look at the research and just talking with Jeff more about it, I mean, it could take anywhere from like 3 to 10 years of psychotherapy of severe trauma that people have to get any type of breakthrough.
Yeah.
So I mean, think about it, you spend $200 an hour to see a psychologist and you're seeing her once a week for 10 years. I mean, that's a mortgage payment.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of people that can't even afford that. Even most treatment centers in the United States, they're ill affordable to go to. I mean, at least I was fortunate to have money to do it, but I don't want to sit and blow money on treatment that's not going to be effective. I mean, who wants to go and pay for something, a lot of money, and then 3 months later they relapse or they're back in the same situation?
Exactly.
So, here, every day that I, went to a treatment center, and then, that's not all we're doing. It's, we're doing colon hydrotherapy, we're doing breath work. I did yoga classes are amazing. Candice, the most amazing yoga teacher. And I never did yoga, seriously. Like, I never really worked out. I mean, I do, but like now, like I have this new revival and yoga is like my passion now. And
I saw you really into it.
Yeah, it seems cliche of like, oh, I'm into yoga now. But it's like, no, like my body's in the 7 a.m., which I used to never wake up in the morning. Hated waking up. Now it's like I work out at 6, and I go steam, then cold plunge, then I do yoga at 7. I've been doing that for 2 weeks straight. And I mean, seriously, you could probably just do that and not do anything else.
You do look a bit more beefcake.
No, I've been, working
See how
on.
amazing though when you get that passion for life back. It's like, oh my God, I fucking love living.
Yeah.
Because I remember back in the day when I used to drink and take drugs and try to kill myself and just didn't want to be here, and I just didn't know why, but I just knew I was very unhappy. Even though I had the nice house, nice car, like money, I was doing well, but just didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
And it was the medicine that got me to the root cause of why. Whereas like pharmaceuticals and drinking and stuff like that, they were kind of just managing my symptoms and keeping me like just numb.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this medicine, it's not pretty and it's uncomfortable, but she goes right to the root cause, shows you it, brings it to the surface so it can fuck off in a lovely way.
Yeah. No, in two, I was looking at spiritual level too, of like, cleaning out a lot of the negative energy that I had in my body, because I did. I had years and years and years and years of negative habits, negative energy, negative thoughts. And again, could I have sat on the couch for 20 years and got that out? Maybe, maybe not.
See, I find I've had a therapist when my parents broke up, and then I had a marriage counselor and stuff. I don't know if it's the same for you or anybody else out there, but I know in America, like therapists are like a big thing.
Yeah.
But in England, it wasn't. So you were deemed like, to be going through some real hard shit if you had to have a therapist. It was England and Australia, but I got the same kind of outcome. I kind of felt like every time I was talking to the counsellor, I just wanted to punch her because she just didn't really know. And then I'm in marriage counselling, and she made me hate my husband even more. Like it literally just made me like worse because no one was genuinely listening, and it wasn't it wasn't helping. I genuinely promise you, I never got anything out of any of it. So I just quit. I just left, and I was like, you don't understand. You don't get what I'm going through. And this medicine has been the only thing that gets me, because it's a divine intelligence and a script by the divine. It's not like going into a doctor's office and just getting whatever written down in a pharmaceutical form. This is like, no, you're getting exactly what you need to propel you to where you're meant to be. And that's what I love about her. And for you, being in the medical world, it's so beautiful that you've come here and done this, because now you can be an advocate for merging the two worlds. It doesn't have to be like stop doing one way and start doing another. It's like, no, let's work together. Like we can make something even more amazing if we like work it through, like together in a like more harmonious state.
Exactly. And that's, we look at Chinese medicine with yin and yang. I mean, there's always two sides to every story, coin, cover, whatever you want to deem it as. And for this, there's always, the dark side, whatever, the purge or the vomiting, and then you have the light side and the glorious and the the self-actualizations and the realizations, and just opening up your mindset to be able to receive these the information that has always been there for you, but your brain has just blockaded it where you can't do it yourself.
Yeah.
And
sometimes we just need a helping hand. It's like this medicine is just like a quick way to the source,
correct.
and just to cleanse us in such a beautiful way. Sometimes when we're so stuck and we've tried everything, it's like a lot of people come here like you. It's like, this is my last hope, or I'm going to kill myself, or I'm just not going to be here. I know that something's going to happen. And so if you're in that situation, it's like, there is something else. Come and try this. It's like, you don't have to feel that there's nothing else for you.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just don't have access like to the knowledge, or they're just working from a fear-based mindset and being indoctrinated for years.
Yeah.
So we are the change, and you are the change because you're in the medical world. Love, love, love.
Thank you.
Did you see any visuals or aliens while you've been here?
No, it's interesting because, a lot of people, they mention that they have sort of this, visualization of extraterrestrial beings, or having, extreme like downloads of like a movie, and having their life, be flashed in front of their lives. But for me, it just like, it allowed me think of like your brain being compressed a little bit, and it basically just released and opened up these neural pathways in my brain to start to function and speak and have the neurons talk to each other better. Because, when I was drinking a lot of alcohol or using a substance, all it was doing was just clogging and closing that mind. And I would try to go into therapy, and it maybe would open up one channel, but with the plant medicine, it just opens up that mind and brain. So all these channels start to flow, and the information, and just the self-actualization, and it was the self-love that was my primary. And,
that's the main thing that we need.
And for, myself and, my family, and especially my wife, I realized that it starts with me, and it starts with myself, and it starts with me loving myself. And I know that's where I'm at now, and I just can't wait to share that with them and everyone who's in my life.
I'm so excited. And then maybe you could get your wife here?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
That would be cool, because then you would both be on the same level, like of this awakening realization. And then your relationship together would just be next level, because at the minute, you've caused a bit of damage with your actions, and
Correct.
So she's going to be a bit closed off, and quite rightly so. You know, from what I heard, what you did, I'd have fucking been like, who the fuck, right? Yeah. But now that you're not that anymore, it's just like, just say sorry, and just promise, you'll never hurt her again, that you'll never inherently try to hurt her again. And then just show her how beautiful and shiny you really, truly, the true you is, without all that distortion and trauma and hurt. And then once she sees that, like, just knowing, like, it will just change things in such a beautiful way. And then she might be receptive to come, and then your relationship as working on the medicine. 'Cause personally, me, it's like, I couldn't imagine being in another relationship without both parties, like, just at least trying this to be
Correct.
in the same understanding of, wow, there's so much more out there. So, no pressure, but work on you. But I'm so proud of you.
Any friends and family and anyone that has questions, and because there's going to be a lot of questions when I get back of like, where have you been? What are you doing? Were you,
they'll see you and they'll just be like, what have you been doing? I want some, because you look so different and so alive, like freshly alive. Well done. But well done for coming into this kind of environment, like not knowing what the hell it was, and then taking the leap and doing it. So proud of you.
Thank you.
So we didn't speak about Christo Kalani, who was our thought leader this week. He was the lead drummer of Air Supply. You know that song, I'm all out of love, I'm so lost without you song. I love it. So he was here doing his week of thought leader workshops. So Monday you went. Do you want to give a little talk about what he did?
Yeah, it's cool because, they get a lot of people in internationally that have a whole different array of talents. And his was, it was a healing in music and movement. And basically with the 7 chakras, there's a specific musical note that specifically acts on that chakra. So he had us dancing and singing and moving, and it's interesting. My wife's a big dancer, and she's got me to dance much more. But now it's easy for me to move and dance. But you can see that some people are uncomfortable because it's like, how am I going to just move, and what is this going to do to my body? And
what are people going to think, and all these kind of things.
But once you go through the process, and I mean, just this unique, I can't even name half the instruments they had. It was such the coolest and unique instruments, and the beautiful noises and sounds. It was just such a like harmony to the ears, and we had like this conga line, and we were doing fun, wacky stuff, and then he'd have us freestyle dance, and it was cool, and it just allows your mind to refocus on something else, and bring, especially if you have a lot of chatter going on in your head of what's going on, it just rebalances you too. So there's a lot of unique alternative healing modalities that are here, not only the plant medicine, and you don't even have to do the plant medicine ceremonies if you don't feel like you want to.
Yeah.
And there's no pressure to do it. Again, we have, guest lecturers, speakers. There's people in, locals that come in that tell their stories, and it's very eye-opening, very educational, and it's changed my life.
I bet you were in that dance workshop thinking, if only my wife could see me now.
Probably, maybe we get some footage of it.
Yeah.
And then also on Fridays they do the dance.
Yes,
blindfolded.
yes, Dance of Liberation. Yeah. So that's Parashakti's love child, and we blindfold the guests, and then we've got a few gatekeepers that we will just make sure everyone's safe. But it's basically just going inward. You've had 4 nights of medicine flowing through you. So Friday, with the blindfold on, moving your body to an epic soundtrack, you literally can start seeing visions again and going inward, and it allows you to connect into your soul and to connect into who you truly are without worrying about external stimuli and what people are thinking and all that shit that doesn't even matter, that we worry about all the time. It allows you just to go inward, and it's so powerful. It's so beautiful to see people really let go when they're dancing like no one's watching. It's beautiful. Well done. Is there anything else you want to say? Any other shares from your 2 weeks?
The facility is beautiful. There's beautiful palm trees, a nice pool. Everyone here is just great. I mean, the first person I met was a gentleman named Adam, and he's been a very influential person on me. And
he was last week's thought leader.
Yeah, and he lives in Southern California, and we became friends, and he knows my story. And it just, you're able to, depending on whatever you're coming here for, you're going to find somebody or something or some way or something that's going to really transform and resonate to you.
Everyone who comes, they say they got a calling. It seems to be the perfect time, and then the universe kind of just helped them to make it happen. And then when they come, everything seems to fall into place. It's like people realize that they've been paired up in a room with the perfect roommate who sinks into their journey somehow. And then same in the ceremony space. So even if things are annoying you, or somebody next to you is purging loud, or you don't want the music or the smoke, everything is working so perfectly and synergistically to bring out, to trigger anything within you to release, or to spark a recognition or a knowing. It's like every single thing. It's just the way life works. It's like everything, everyone is a lesson and a blessing if you choose to see it as so. And especially when you come here, things are magnified even more. So in ceremony, the medicine kind of magnifies who you are in life. And so she'll show you, and she might put it on a repeat loop over and over again, like things that you've done and said, and show you over and over again, to the point where you're like, I can't take this anymore. Why does she keep showing me? And it's like, because you're fighting it, or you're not accepting it, you're not loving it, and you're not just being okay with it. And then as soon as you kind of send love or go into whatever the loop is, whatever's going on, it just moves straight on to the next thing to heal. And it just becomes a beautiful transition of just healing from one layer to another layer to another layer to another layer. So magic.
It's magical. I mean, it's everyone. I mean, we're speaking through a computer right now, but you got to come and experience it yourself.
Yeah, you can listen to other people's experience, but it will not be the same as yours. Like, that's for sure. We can guarantee that every night will be different, and you'll have a totally different experience from everybody else, and totally different from what you expected. So let go of expectations, because it's just going to be exactly what you need. What would you say to somebody sitting on the fence?
Sitting on the fence, I mean, I would just do it. Take the leap of faith. Jump off the fence and come and experience it yourself. I spent many days and years and sweat and tears and miles in the middle of the desert. And, my journey was a long, long journey to get here. And I can tell you that every minute and second now, when I look in retrospect, was for the purpose, and so happy that I did this and was down here. So if any doubts, just come and try it yourself. I mean, worst case scenario, get a cool trip to Costa Rica. There's an ocean near, you can surf, swim. There's a pool, the food's amazing, all organic, natural food. So I can't really think of a downside. The only downside is time out of your day, but if you're sitting on the couch, you might as well get up and come down.
Yeah. So if you're not happy, there's an option. There's another option. It's like, just broaden your horizons and see that there are more options than we've been led to believe we have. And drinking this plant medicine has totally saved my life and changed my life. And I see it every week doing the same for so many people. We have had like 4,000 people here now. And it's just incredible that I think it's like 97% on average get their miracle. And it's just really profound, the shifts that happen here. So if you want some more information, go to YouTube and check out The Reality of Truth documentary and Mrs. Moon's medicine. Don't forget Jerry's book, Shit the Moon Said. It's on Amazon, and you can also get it in an audio version. And it's all about the moon talking to Jerry and getting the downloads about how to build this place, what medicine to use, just everything, and the wise words and the funny sense of humor of the moon. And I know that sounds absolutely crazy to somebody who has yet to talk to the moon, but it's a real thing. You really can, and just literally you can get the most profound healings here if you just trust and believe. And let's check out the comments from people. I'm so proud you came. Although walking through the desert was a bit silly. But I'm just glad that you came.
Yeah, now I know that it's just a plane.
Yeah, you no need to go that way anymore. Yeah. Just jump on a plane. Don't trek through the jungle or the desert.
No.
So, Johnny Fast Online, hey love, we miss you. And George, miss you too, from Ontario. Kash Khan, love you. But hey, Angel, I'm loving you. Greg from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Hey, Greg, top fan, apparently.
Nice.
And Jeremy, hi Jeremy, hey Sven. Hey Bob, hey Tammy, hey Scott, hey Diane. Diana, love you. Mwah. Hey, Christian Metzger, Marisa, Claudia, Megan, Fiona are online. All the crew are online.
There's Essa on the breath work is so powerful. You're right.
Yes,
yeah.
Totally is. Oh look, we've got loads. We've got all these top fans coming on. This must be a new Facebook thing. True that. I love breathwork. Yay! Breathwork taught me that I am in charge of all my life decisions. I would probably say it was more powerful than the plant medicine.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you. It says that you look so healthy and vibrant.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I've lost like 15 pounds. It's incredible. I mean, and that's been part of just my mindset shift. And my miracle is, my change of perception of self-loving, of focusing more on my body and focusing more on myself. And you do get that natural glow when it comes off.
Yeah, clearing out the gunk.
Yeah.
It's like spiritual, it is literally mind, body, and soul healing.
Yeah.
It's not just physical. It's like on so many levels.
Yeah, because the majority of treatment centers you see around there are just focusing on the mind.
Yeah.
Or the physical nature of detoxification of a specific drug, but they're not addressing all three or all four parts of the body and the mind, the soul, the spirit, however you look at it in this
and
place.
it's all perfect.
Yeah.
Like you have to do all three. It's a whole holistic approach here. It's not just like a Western medicine likes to put you in parts, and so this is like a all-in-one approach. Cindy, amazing treat to your soul. A healing happy birthday to you. Aww.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing such a beautiful story, a stirring and touching story. Isan, thanks. Oh, so many past guests on here. Melissa's on here. Hi, Candice, missing you and Rythmia. We're missing you too. Can't wait to have you back here. Isan, Jesus is the Son of God. Hallelujah. Rythmia saved his life. Aww.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, the miracles of, which Easter's coming up with, Jesus sacrificing his life for us. And, I truly believe that, this path that I went down was a blessing from God and his son to save my life. And it was the truth. And, like people mentioned, the breath work was more powerful, or the plant medicine was more powerful, where the people were. It's there's not one thing. It's a combination effect, and ultimately, it's all comes from up there that has provided the healing, and they do it in this center with all natural elements to change people.
It's just like you're divinely guided, just to wake up to your true self. And then we're just like facilitating the process. We're just here to be of service and utilizing the tools that are here. But ultimately, you have to make the decision and be divinely guided to be like, enough is enough, which is why everything was ripped away from you. Mm-hmm. To be like, enough is enough. Like you're gonna die. Like you're gonna kill yourself and you're gonna lose everything. So we're gonna force you into it by making you see that you don't truly want that.
Correct. And I absolutely wasn't in control. And the control, I had to surrender, and even surrender during ceremony. I continually just let the control go, and that's a big critical component, especially talking with new individuals that come in, and they're like, "Hey, Kurt," since I'm Mr. Experience now, it's been 3 weeks, but they ask me, "What's?" It's really just letting go of the control, because everyone wants to have that instantaneous miracle or the dramatic shift and change, but you have to let it go.
It is a major thing. You may as well just surrender when you get here, because otherwise you're just going to be fighting. And the medicine likes to spank you on your bum if you're fighting. Remember, she's a mother's energy, so she wants you to be the best version of yourself. So she's going to give you a little spanked body and some soft, gentle hugs, bit of both. But she just wants you to be back to who you truly are meant to be. And so there's nothing to fear when it's a mother's love who loves you. Hey, Hadia, Sven, another miracle. I know, they just keep rolling out. I love it. Hey, Thomas. Hey, Julia. There's so many past guests. I love this. Michael, just wow, so grateful for Kurt's testimony. See, I knew you would be epic. He's healed 10 different things in one. It's amazing. Araceli, I love you. She was just here. Isan, what is the food like at Rythmia? Do you want to say? It's all organic. Meg is epic, and it's just fresh and living food. And even the fish and the chicken that we have is not chemical or factory farmed and stuff like that. But in essence, it's just divine. What would you say as a guest?
Yeah, I mean, every meal was just unique and different. Obviously, there's a big vegetable component base to it. There were days where I would just only eat the veggies, but the fish, there was so many different types of fish each night that it was just amazing, and everything was. There was probably nothing that I disliked on the menu.
That's cool. And we have coconut water and pineapple juice on tap. Basically, you can have unlimited. I have traveled the world, and everywhere I went, coconuts were so expensive.
Yeah, $7 for a coconut.
Yeah, and here you can just keep going up. Agua de pipa, por favor. In my best English accent. Oh my God. Por favor. Melissa says, delicious, healthy, and fresh. It so is. Araceli is fresh and amazing. Meg is fabulous chef. Yes, she is. And Kamisha says, I am patiently waiting for my chance to come. Just put it out to the universe, honey. It just starts to unfold, and the right time will happen, I promise. John, so looking forward to my trip here at the end of the month. Can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to meet you and give you a big hug.
Yeah, John, it'll be awesome. Man.
Yeah. He still might be here. He's going to be part of the furniture.
Yeah.
He's not going to leave. He's just going to ship his wife and kids over here.
Yeah, moving us down, Costa Rica style.
Marissa says, I'm so happy for Kurt. Thank you both. This is awesome story. I've been wanting to get back there again. Love from LA to you both. Oh, we love you too. Yeah, get back here. Hey, Tim. Hey, Andrea. Oh, so many past guests. Love it. Set your intention. It will happen. Definitely. Real Food Organics is so happy for you, Kurt. Food is freaking awesome. Isn't it just? Right, I think that's about it. Anything else? You're fucking so epic to interview. Yeah, come again. Okay, well, thank you.
No, thanks for having me. And no, thanks for allowing me to be part of the Rythmia team and share my story, because if I could help anybody out there just by the words of our interview and change someone else's life from bad to good, or however the shift wants to go, I would say just come down and make it.
So one last thing, what were you like diagnosed with like before coming here, and what have you left behind? Because I think there's a long fucking list.
Yeah, so it was initially adult hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, depression, and then the big misdiagnosis that continually came up over and over was bipolar. In talking with the medical directors here, bipolar diagnosis takes at least 18 months. And when people are giving me a diagnosis and anywhere from 4 minutes to like 2 hours, it just didn't make too much sense. And that's part of the Western medicine saying, hey, we have a dysfunction or disorder, and now you got to take this drug for the rest of your life. I just knew it wasn't right, and I kept on fighting the system, and honestly, I made the best decision ever. So I haven't been on any drugs, medication, alcohol, anything for, I think, like 40, it'll be 50 days coming up. So it's been a
I'm
while.
so proud of you. See, that just goes to show that you don't have to take people's opinions and ideas of what they think you have and all that. It's like just trust in your gut, and if there's a natural way that's more aligned with who you are, then to give it a try, because the Western medicine pharmaceutical world is always going to be there. So same with me, it's like I wanted to try the natural way first before they took out a vital organ, before they radiated me, but I got rushed into the system, whereas I had time to try it naturally, and that was my logic. Mm-hmm. So it's like if you've got time and it's not like a near death, like on deathbed kind of thing, try a different way before you subscribe to somebody else's idea of what they think you need, and then become a consumer for life. Okay. So you are a prime example of that. I'm so proud of you.
I'm going to get back to Phoenix, and my diet has changed significantly. It's just my health, my mindset, and, talking with a gentleman that's from Panama that was a helper throughout the last couple of weeks, Chris, and he was addicted to heroin for most of his 20s or 30s, and his family was like, found out he was down here, and they had no idea what he was doing. He pretty much gave up his life to the medicine, and now helping others and healing others. And when he goes back and sees his family in San Francisco, they're like amazed of how dramatically changed.
I didn't even know that about him, and I'm amazed because he just looks so shiny and
You go from like a junkie on the street injecting heroin to a super positive, amazing.
You would never, ever, ever tell that. It just, the power of this medicine and getting back to the true you, it's just, the limits are endless. It's just like incredible what you can get. So thank you for being that shiny example.
Thank you.
You're amazing. And I can't wait to hear all about the family reunion and how that goes. So, guys, thanks very much for joining us. I shall see you next week. Any more last questions?
Well, Nicole's coming in one day.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. I know, one day I'll be there.
Oh, fantastic. Yes, you will. Noel. Yeah. I think I saw you on Victor Odo's YouTube. Yes, I definitely was on that. He's a friend of mine, and I love him. And I can't wait to see you here. And I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. If you have yet to write a testimonial about Rythmia and you've been here, please go to TripAdvisor, because the more people we can get here, the more we can heal the planet and the dysfunctions of the masculine and feminine energy that's going on. So the more people that come, the more people that heal, and your words can really touch somebody else's opinion and get them, maybe sway them to get them here with your experience. So thank you so much. Love, love, love. Love you all.
Thank you guys, and just come and do it. It's awesome.
You're amazing.